Hello, Awake Self-Care Club. What a week this has been. I'm going to wait and see if anyone is available to hop on with me and chat, talk. For those of you watching the recording, it is Friday, and this is sort of the end of our self-care sample club, but your hosts, Heather and I, both had a wild week. I had a concussion on Monday, which was the wildest story ever. My husband and son were throwing apples to the chickens, and the chickens were maybe like 20, 30 feet off in the distance, and so they were tossing them. My 8-year-old wound back and launched it, and it hit me right in the side of the head, and we thought it was no big deal, kind of laughed it off. Then the next morning, woke up feeling even worse, went in. I had to have a CAT scan. I had huge hematoma on the side of my head. It was the wildest story. Everyone at the emergency room was saying it was the most original story they'd had in all of April. So I win that award. And then Heather came down with the flu or strep or something, out of commission. So today's the first day that I've felt normal enough. I don't know that I'm ever normal, but today's the first day I felt normal enough to be on a Facebook Live. You guys got to meet my husband who jumped in. He teaches for me all the time, and especially if I'm sick and I have a class, he just goes and does the teachings for me. So he's a super awesome educator. Anyway, I would like him to go ahead and do most of the educating because he's so simple and to the point and doesn't require a lot of talking and fluff. Hello, Heather. So I wanted to jump on and just include my personal stories about why I wanted to include the samples that we included, a little bit of how I use them, and then I know Heather is going to want to do this at some point too. I didn't even tell her I was hopping on right now. I just had a cup of coffee and was like, I feel really good. I'm going to hop in there and just kind of chat with them about everything that I missed this week because I missed it. I was like asleep on the couch and missed everything. And even when Jared was like, is there anything you want me to include? I'm like, you just tell them, you be you, babe, right? Like you just tell them. And so I just wanted to kind of jump on and talk about why I wanted to include what we included and then talk a little bit more about some of the other products, but I'm going to do an individual video for today. And Heather's about to post for the day too. So we were great minds think alike, right? We're thinking about the same thing. I know there are many people following along on YouTube. And so without the video, they're all kind of lost. I got a couple emails this morning that was like, are we going to get more videos on YouTube? And I thought I better make sure to do that. So this is for everybody. And I'm going to talk a little bit about each product Jared talked about. And then I'll talk a little bit more about the Root to Tip serum. And then I will hop off and hop back on and talk about today's product. So the On Guard throat drops. These are, I feel like, essential. I carry them in my purse. I always have them on me. My kids are having major pollen reactions right now, and having these 2 drops changes everything. It just changes everything about how we handle symptoms in this house. So anytime I feel a throat tickle, and I'll be honest with you, anytime I go somewhere in public where I notice other people are showing symptoms of any sort of reaction or any kind of icky germs, right? I'm trying to keep this super compliant. So anytime I go anywhere in public and I hear, the coughing or the sniffling or anything like that, I put one of these in my mouth just to stop it right there. The cool thing about this is that it has the essential oil blends in the throat drop. So when you have that in your mouth and you are eating the throat drop, you're also going to be knocking out anything that's trying to get into your airways or into your body via your mouth, nose, or throat, right? Because that's really how it all works. So if you're unfamiliar with how you catch something that's icky and contagious in the environment, you can look into that. A lot of it enters through the nose and mouth. So when you have something like this in your mouth, it's going to help protect you, right? That's why these are called the protecting throat drops. So I like to have these always, not just when we're having symptoms, but always, always, always. And if we're at a play date or we're at a homeschool function or we're out in public and there's people there that are sniffling and coughing and hacking and all that other stuff, we just kind of all pop one, right? And we don't even worry about it. So On Guard are really my favorite for that. And I think that they are like an unsung hero of the On Guard line, especially because kids love, love, love the taste. So my kids love the taste. And the moment you do have some sort of itchy, scratchy, burny feeling in your throat, those soothe it like that. It's magical. Okay, so then the Breathe Drops, these, again, staying super compliant because it's going to go on YouTube and be public. Staying super compliant, these are really good for the exact same reason I just talked about the On Guard protecting throat drops for your airways, for those seasonal threats, that high pollen count. We're not always just worried about pollen either, guys. I just was reading a study talking about all the different like metals that are in our air, all the different chemicals out here in the country. People are spraying their farms. You know, we have a lot of assaults on our airways on a daily basis. So the Breathe Respiratory Drops are going to help soothe and coat and protect your airways in a really profound way. So yes, it's going to help you whenever there's seasonal threats, whenever you're having the symptoms, but it's also really good prophylactically, and that's how I use them. So if we're going to be going into the city, we live out on a farm, and our air quality out here is so much better that when we go into the city, my kids will be like, oh, what is that smell? You know, and it's like city. That's what that smell is. And so we take these with us at all times because it really helps to coat, protect, soothe. And we make sure to always have them on us for those reasons to kind of keep us protected. In addition, these have Melissa oil in them. And I know Jared talked about that, so I won't get too much into it. But Melissa is a very unique oil. This bottle right here is 5 milliliters. So it's kind of tiny relatively. And it's $135 because it's very rare. And it's very hard to get an unadulterated, pure therapeutic Melissa oil. Melissa is also known as lemon balm. So for all my herbalist friends out there, you guys are well versed in lemon balm. And here's the thing, lemon balm isn't necessarily hard to come by. Lemon balm with the therapeutic properties that are well known for supporting mental health, supporting respiratory airways, and protecting our body and helping us fight things off, that lemon balm with those really high therapeutic qualities is very hard to get a source on that is organic and that is consistent in its indigenous region, right? So, and that's all the things that doTERRA requires. So this is harder to get. Most lemon balm essential oils or Melissa essential oils are going to be adulterated with lemongrass. The smells are very similar, and they can take a little bit of Melissa and add a little bit of lemongrass, and they're going to stretch that oil a long way. So ours is very, very concentrated, very concentrated. One drop goes a very long way chemically. And so the fact that they are in these Breathe Drops adds a whole nother layer because, as I said, the Breathe Drops are also protective. Not reactive, also protective. So they're going to soothe your airway and protect it from different things that are going on in the environment. All right. So those two things were covered. Jared also talked about the body butter, which is my jam. It might be my jam that I didn't bring with me. We'll go for a walk together. Because I need to have the container with me because I want to put it on while I talk to you. So I keep it with me wherever I'm working. So we usually have like 3 or 4 body butters throughout the house. And I think I'm seeing comments, but something just popped up and disappeared. So if you're commenting, comment again. This body butter, look how well used this is. When we went to convention, the convention where the body butter was released, I'll be honest with you. I'm always honest, right? That's one thing you can count on. They were like, we're releasing 9 new products. And I was so excited. I'm like, oh my gosh, bring on all the oils, all the therapy, all the healing stuff, like bring it on. And then they were like, body butter. And I was like, like, I used to work at Bath and Body Works. I used to buy all my body butters from the Body Shop. And I mean, when I used to work at Bath and Body Works, that was in the 90s. But like lotion, come on, lotion. I was so not impressed. And I was super duper like, why are we doing this? But then I got it. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I make, or I used to before this product came out, I made my own body butter. And that involves quite a bit when you're doing whipped body butter because you end up with, a KitchenAid mixer full of body butter. And that's not as easy to clean as you think it is. I mean, I didn't clean it at all. Jared did. So, because I was like, what do I even do? But this one is it's extra soothing. It really gets in there and in a way that none of my homemade ones really worked that efficiently. Not to mention, doTERRA has quite a bit of essential oil in this. And if you were to make a body butter at home, the amount of essential oils you would have to put in to get it to be this amount would probably be more than you would be willing to put in. That's what I find with a lot of people that make home-made products. They want to make a body butter and only put like 4 drops of lavender in it. And that's usually not going to cut it. Although if you add more than that, it becomes less cost effective, right? But this has wild orange, Douglas fir, frankincense in it. And it smells kind of like, my daughter Olive said it smelled like pink lemonade to her. And I love that. So now whenever I put it on, I think about pink lemonade. So good. And also, for the amount of essential oil that's in it, it's not very expensive. So the next product that I'm going to talk about, Heather posted a good deal of information about our Root to Tip serum. And so I won't go too much into anything that she already covered, but I'm going to show you what it looks like when it comes in the box, since you guys got something that looks like this, right? Okay. And so I'm going to cover what it looks like when it comes in the box. It's quite large. So if you're wondering how big the container is, these last forever. I'll say that like my original one, the one I had before I replaced it with this new lid, it had the old lid. So I think I had mine for like 6 months, maybe even longer. We use this a lot in our family because we have a lot of food allergies, environmental allergies, and it shows up as a lot of dry skin, dry scalp. Like when the pollen count's sour, our scalps get dry and itchy. And as children, as babies, my children all had like cradle cap, like all that nastiness on the scalp. I won't go too much into that. But Root to Tip serum helped with all of that. What it has in it is lavender, peppermint, marjoram, cedarwood, lavandin, rosemary, niaouli, and eucalyptus. So in this, with an argan oil, it helps to restore the scalp and helps to make healthy follicles so that things will help to start to regrow, grow stronger. You can also move it down through your hair into your tips, and it's going to help seal up a lot of those split ends. And it's going to help when you style your hair for it to not be as frizzy. The split ends won't be as noticeable. And it's just one of my very, very, very favorite products to use that we have. The hair is so important to me. Most of you that know me know that I had very long hair and I just recently cut it. I had long hair. I had been growing my hair out for over 3 years, I think closer to 4 years. And I had previously shaved my head. And so my hair that I just cut off had never been dyed. It had never been chemically altered in any way. And I still had the bottom like inch or two were starting to split. And I would put the Root to Tip serum on and you couldn't even tell. It was like healing it so much. But it was before I had used the Root to Tip serum. So you could really tell almost exactly to the month when I started using Root to Tip serum. You can tell it because from here up, the hair was so full and the bottoms from before really were very thin. And so I love that Root to Tip serum isn't necessarily something you do only to take care of an issue. You want to use it every day and it'll just promote that healthier hair. The hair will come out of the scalp healthier. my husband is also losing his hair. So massaging the root to tip serum into his scalp is also really helpful for him. And a little goes a really long way. That's why we sent you this little container. And one of the off-label makes it sound so mysterious. One of the additional benefits of the root to tip serum that I like to use this for is I use it as a cuticle oil. So you just take it and I put 1 drop at the very base of the nail, like right where it comes out of the skin. Oh, I didn't mean to flip you guys all off. Or did I? I didn't. So you put the oil just at the base of the nail and then you massage it up around. And I do this before bed. And I tend to do it like right now when I know I'm going to be taking off all of my nail polish and starting again. But you just want to get it all massaged in. And then the next day you can come through and push it all down and then apply just a little bit more. I love it as a cuticle oil. It's amazing. And it smells amazing. So it really has a spa scent. And I know you guys all have yours, so you're probably sniffing it thinking the same thing. It has a spa smell to it. And that leads me to my favorite little thing to do to create a spa-like experience during your self-care, whether it's taking a bath or doing your nails or watching these videos or journaling. I make a diffuser blend with the essential oils that we have from here. So I use lavender, peppermint, marjoram, cedarwood, rosemary, eucalyptus, and lavender instead of lavandin. And it has that same spa-like experience. So if you have those oils on hand, throw those in the diffuser during your self-care time. And it's going to bring you into that relaxed state. All right, I'm going to hop off here and then hop right back on to talk about the toothpaste. So it's in a separate video. I'll talk to you guys soon. And I hope you kind of see that we really included products this week that we use daily, all the time, because we wanted to really show how your life is changed by some simple products. Okay, have a good day. Bye-bye.